treasonous and went ahead to justify their killing and threatened that more killings would take place, a position that I disagreed with him in private, and he stuck to his gun, that what was done was the right thing. And as a parent, as a Christian, as a Kenyan, I needed to put the record straight so that the people of Kenya could know that I was not part of that decision, and I disagreed with the action taken by the president to kill young children for raising issues of concern to the country, and going ahead by adding insult to injury by describing them as criminals and treasonous. I had to disassociate myself with a statement by William Ruto and went ahead to confirm that the agencies were indeed my sons and daughters. And that is why I took that position then.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Excellency, this is going to be just like a follow-up question. And there's somebody who asked, if you are the president in that time, we understand you are not the president. And we know exactly what transpired, what happens, our children getting killed. But if you were the president in that time, would you have done things different?
Definitely, I would have done things differently. In fact, the decision by William Ruto to kill our children and try to justify it is what caused a very big disagreement between me and him. If I was president, I would have done things differently. I would have listened to these children and the issues they were raising, because they are our children, and they were not just speaking from nowhere. There were serious issues in Kenya about the finance bill of 2024. And when your children correct you, you don't kill them. You listen. That's what we do. I'm a father of 2 young boys, and anytime they have had an issue with the decisions that I've made, I take it upon myself to listen to them and reason with them and try to persuade them, and they try to persuade me, and somehow we agree. But I would never beat them up, threaten them, or harm them. So if I was president, I would not have ordered the killing of children for raising issues concerning the people of Kenya. I would have taken time to give them an opportunity to listen to them and reason with them, and we come up with an agreement on the way forward.
All right, thank you. Next question. Your Excellency, do you believe in restorative justice? And by asking this, what I'm trying to say is, we are very hopeful that your coalition will take the government in 2027. If this happens, are you going to compensate the families of the Kenyans who are killed by the current government?
Thank you very much. In the United Opposition, we have a committee on restorative justice led by former Speaker and former Attorney General, the Honorable Justin Biden Muthoni, because I believe in restorative justice. The young children who died and their parents deserve justice, and they are entitled to justice. In fact, if I'm elected as President of the Republic of Kenya in 2027, my first action in office will be to set up a judicial commission of inquiry to inquire on the killings that took place on June 25th and the subsequent killings that have taken place since then, the issues of abductions, so that all those people who are responsible for the killings are brought to justice. Number 2, I would initiate a mechanism for the compensation of families of those children who are tortured, those who are killed, and all those who have had problems with the government of President William Ruto. So let me assure the people of Kenya that I'm committed to make sure that the agencies and their parents do get justice, and all those who took part in abductions, in extrajudicial killings, in torture, in burning people's businesses, in disrupting meetings will be brought to justice. In fact, let me put our police officers on notice. All those officers who are being misused by William Ruto to break the law and disrupt public meetings, shoot leaders, beat up people, they'll have to answer. And I have asked our teams to keep a record of all these actions that are unlawful, that are being perpetuated by the police, so that these people will be held to account. I want to ask families of Gen Zs who are killed, who disappeared, to make sure they document all the circumstances under which their children disappeared, under which police station, so that the commanders of those stations then will be held to account. And let me tell officers commanding police stations, officers commanding police divisions, all the atrocities against the people of Kenya that are being committed within your jurisdiction, you will have to answer it one day. If you see what has happened in Kenya, there was the issue of aglo-leasing that took place in the year 2003. The courts have decided, so many years later, almost 22 years later, that those people will have to face justice. So all those police officers in the DCI, in the National Intelligence Service, in the National Police Service, officers in the Ministry of Interior, who are committing crimes against the people of Kenya, when we form government in 2027, you will have to answer for those crimes of commission and omission, because that is the way the law says.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, when the Kenya Kwanza government came into power, during the campaigns, the president used to say that they are not going to weaponize the state organs like the KR, the state agencies. But today we have seen even the police even going for civilians, people who are not even interested in politics. Children, the president himself giving orders, shoot to kill or shoot in the leg. Do you think today, as we stand, do you think the Kenyan government, the Kenya Kwanza government is redeemable today as we stand, Your Excellency?
I am very embarrassed as one of the leaders who are in the forefront in campaigning for William Ruto to be president of Kenya, because he persuaded me and persuaded the rest of Kenyans that under his leadership, the criminal justice system will never be used to manage politics, and it will never be weaponized against opponents. Again, this is one of the greatest deceptions that ever took place in Kenya since independence. William Ruto deceived all of us, and we believed him, that he will never use the criminal justice system to deal with those opposed to him. That is exactly what is happening today. The Kenya Revenue Authority has been weaponized. All those who disagree with William Ruto are being harassed by the Kenya Revenue Authority. All those who don't agree with William Ruto are being persecuted by the DCI, by the National Security Intelligence Service. All those who have issues with what is happening in Kenya are being persecuted day and night. This is very sad, because I, like other Kenyans, were deceived by William Ruto that he will never use the criminal justice system to persecute people. But he is doing it with abundance, with brutal efficiency, and it is very sad. I want to say that this government cannot be redeemed. Where we have reached, there is nothing that can be done. William Ruto was a great mistake for the people of Kenya. It's a mistake all of us have to live with. But as they say, making a mistake is not very bad. What is bad is to repeat that same mistake. The people of Kenya have to deal with this matter. And that is why one term has become a national movement. It is a clarion call in every public sitting, anywhere 2-3 people are meeting, even young children. Everybody is just saying one term, because this government cannot be redeemed. And I'm very excited that yesterday in the Senate, the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee tabled a motion for the American legislative arm to review the status of Kenya as a non-NATO ally because of violation of human rights, because of abductions, extrajudicial killings, using police against civilians, and again working with terrorist organizations in Sudan, in Somalia. And I want to appeal to the people of Kenya living here and working here in the United States to take time to lobby their senators and their congressmen so that they can know exactly what is happening in Kenya, so that when this particular motion comes up for discussion, there is support from the senators here in the United States, because Kenyans here are quite informed as to what is going on back home, and they can get evidence from home on the issues of extrajudicial killings. In fact, it is very sad that President William Ruto have the audacity to publicly issue orders for people to be shot. His Minister for Interior gave a shoot to kill order, which is happening every day. These are some of the things that must find their way on the floor of the Senate here in the United States, so that the American government can be well appraised of what is going on back at home. And we are hoping and we are appealing to the American government, and specifically President Donald Trump, that as he chooses an ambassador for Kenya, because the position is vacant, to consider to give us an ambassador to Kenya of the same caliber and thinking and orientation as Smith Hempstone, who came in to help the people of Kenya when they faced similar circumstances of violation of human rights and the erosion of democracy. We'll be very happy if we could get an ambassador, the caliber of Smith Hempstone, to come to Kenya and help us to restore our democracy and to restore the respect of human rights in our country.
Thank you. Follow-up question will be, so you don't think, Your Excellency, the empowerment programs that are going on right now in almost every village, we've seen, in the media, they are going in every village, they're, saying empowerment. We don't know exactly what it is. You don't think that is going to redeem this government or anything?
Those are not empowerment programs. That is daylight bribery of voters using stolen public funds. These are funds that were meant for education, free primary education and free secondary education. This money, William Ruto has diverted management for education through the National Intelligence Service, ostensibly to deal with regional security. This money is withdrawn in cash every Friday and given to Kindiki to go around the country bribing voters and cheating them. That is empowerment. William Ruto promised real empowerment when he became president. If he wants to do real empowerment, he needs to bring a bill in Parliament where these programs are well explained and included in the budget, so that there is an organized way of doing empowerment. Today, how do you explain where is the deputy president getting this money from? His salary is known. He has been in office for 10 months. He has not earned more than 10 million shillings. In the last several months, he has spent over 300 million shillings. This money is not in the budget. Where is this money coming from? These are proceeds of corruption. And these are funds that are being used to corrupt the morals of our people and try to bribe voters ahead of the 2027 general election. So it's all deceit, it's all a conman game, and it has nothing to do with empowerment. It is simply bribery and a scheme to deceive the Kenyan voter, to try to persuade them to have William Ruto elected as president.
Thank you. Now, Your Excellency, this interview is really not an interview without talking about you being labeled as a tribalist. And as you may know, probably you are aware that most of us who defend you on social media, we are also labeled tribalist. I personally campaigned for President Ruto for 4 years non-stop. Obviously, I was against President Uhuru. Nobody labeled me tribalist until Rigathi Gachagua was impeached. We have seen you hold rallies in Mombasa, Bungoma, Kakamega, Kajiado, Nairobi, and other parts of the country with great acceptance from Kenya masses. Why the government, and indeed its handlers, calling you a tribalist? Why do you think they call you a tribalist? And we have seen you in many other regions that do not belong to the Kikuyus.
Thank you, Jerry. That is a narrative by William Ruto to try to demonize me before the people of Kenya and to suppress truth. William Ruto has nothing against me. And the only remaining strategy is to label me a tribalist, to try to demean me before the people of Kenya. Fortunately, it's only William Ruto, his sycophants, and bloggers paid by government who call me a tribalist. I'm the darling of the Kenyan people. As you have rightly said, when I was in Ukambani, everybody, thousands of people from that area wanted to hear from me. When I arrived in Mombasa, in Kilifi, in Malindi, everybody wanted to listen to me. When I went to Masai Land, in Kajiado, in Narok, the Ma people want to listen to Rigathi G. When I went to Western Kenya, I was a star guest in Bungoma, in Busia, in Kakamega, in Vihiga. The people of Kenya believe in me and the truth that I speak every day. It's only William Ruto because there's nothing else he can say against me. As you have rightly put it, nobody believes him because when I campaigned for him, he never called me a tribalist. When the people of the mountain Kenya supported him to a man, he never said they are tribal. He has only decided we are tribal because we have rejected his leadership and we have said we are not going to support him. As long as we were supporting him, we were good people and we were very nice people and nationalists. But the minute we decided that he cheated us, he betrayed us, he misused us, he was the wrong choice for us and for the country, he has decided that we are tribal people. But I am never dissuaded from what I believe in. I never lose focus. I'm never distracted. I ignore those things with the contempt that they deserve. I am very keen to talk to the people of Kenya. I stand for the people of Kenya. When I fought for the Gen Zs, I fought for all the Gen Zs for the people of Kenya. When I oppose over-taxation, I do it for the people of Kenya. And the people of Kenya have understood who Rigathi G is. And William Ruto, with his narrative, will go nowhere. When I go back, I will be having a 3-day incursion of the Gusii region in Kisii and Nyamira. Again, I'll be going to Migori in Kuria. Again, I will be going to Bomet. I will be going to Eldoret. I'll go to each and every part of the country because I'm a Kenyan leader. And I'm a leader who is respected by the people of Kenya for what I believe in and for upholding truth, because the people of Kenya want a truthful leader. And that is why William Ruto is scared. He would like to confine me in the mountain so that other Kenyans do not benefit from what I know and from telling them what is happening in government and what happened when I was in government. He doesn't want me to give that truth to the people of Kenya. That is why he tries to bog me down and try to intimidate me by saying I'm tribal. I'm not intimidated. I am strong. I am focused. I'm a man on a mission. I'm moving on. I'll move to each and every part of the country.
All right. Let's proceed. Your Excellency, somebody was asked, the country, our country, Kenya, has a lot of hope in the united opposition. Are you really going to hold together? And this is somebody asking, they are just concerned because they have seen the government buy everybody. So they ask, are you going to hold together for the next 2 years, or the government is going to buy some of you off?
I am persuaded that the leaders I work with are strong and are committed to a united opposition so that we have one candidate to face William Ruto in the next general election. I have personally committed before the people of Kenya that if I'm not chosen to be the flag bearer, I I will be more than willing to support whoever is agreed on. My colleague, Kalonzo Musyoka, has committed himself that in case he's not the flag bearer, he'll support whoever is agreed upon. Dr. Fred Matiang'i has committed that if he's not the flag bearer, he'll support whoever has been agreed on. What I know, and I appeal to my colleagues, is to remain strong and to remain focused, because the people of Kenya expect us to stick together. William Ruto has rolled out a very elaborate plan to divide the opposition. And he is using every trick in the book, and he has applied massive resources to try to create problems within the opposition. Specifically, he has started with the mountain. He would want a situation where he divides the mountain, because the mountain vote, by sheer size, is very decisive in who becomes president and who doesn't become president. And since he is aware that the mountain has decided it will not support him, he would like to divide the mountain. We are aware of schemes to form political parties within the mountain to come and rival the DCP, which is the party of choice in the area. We are aware that he is trying to introduce a third force by funding leaders who appear like they are opposed to him, but you start wondering where they are getting money all of a sudden to start dishing around in the country. These are things that are going on, but luckily for us, the people of Kenya are very intelligent, and they see these things from far. People are very enlightened, and they can see through William Ruto. And I want to assure leaders who are being used by William Ruto to divide the opposition, to divide the mountain. William Ruto will destroy you the way he has destroyed the leaders who hang around him. People can see through you. People can read your lips. People can listen to the language that you are speaking. If, for example, you hear a leader from the mountain saying that Rigathi is tribal, they don't like tribalism, that is the language of William Ruto. You don't need to have rocket science to know who is sponsoring that person, because that is the language of William Ruto of saying the people of the mountain as tribal. So if you hear a leader from the mountain all of a sudden talking about tribalism, oh, we don't want tribalism, that is the language of William Ruto. You can tell, and then you can see those leaders are having some bit of money, and they did not have money before. That tells you clearly what is happening. So I want to tell those leaders, the people are very intelligent. And I want to remind our leaders of the situation in the year 2002. The people of Kenya had decided that they did not want anything to do with Daniel Arap Moi and his project. And people had made that decision as a people, and the leaders were following them. The Honorable Musalia Mudavadi was in the group that had rejected the project of President Daniel Arap Moi. Somewhere along the way, Moi convinced him to abandon the people and join him. He dismissed Professor George Saitoti as vice president and appointed Musalia as vice president. And Musalia was earmarked to be the vice president for Uhuru Kenyatta. The people of Sabatia, the people of Vihiga, the people of Western Kenya refused to follow Musalia Mudavadi. He went alone. He lost his seat as a member of parliament for Sabatia. Let me caution my colleagues and all those of us who want William Ruto to be one-term. The mood in the country today as we speak, any of my colleagues will abandon the one-term movement at the behest of President William Ruto for the purposes of financial gain or promises or positions, that he'll go alone and he'll not go with the people. And he or she will be isolated. That is what I know. But I'm happy talking to my colleagues this morning, because all of us are concerned about the machinations of William Ruto. All of them are steadfast and they have committed. They will stick to the course and they will not let the people of Kenya down.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time and answering our questions, and even finding time to come and be with us here in the Midwest. But before you go, we want to ask you the last one. Why one term? If you answer that one, we're going to call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Why one term? Because nothing can work in Kenya when William Ruto is in office. For us to bring to an end abductions and killings of young people, William Ruto must exit from office. For us to restore our education system so that our children can go to school, they can access free primary and secondary education, our university students can have loans, William Ruto must exit from office. For the economy to get back on form, for us to restore our economy, William Ruto must be one term. What we are saying is, before we can get our country back, before we can restore the dignity of the person, William Ruto must exit from State House. And that is why the Kenyan people in unison have agreed this one term. To an extent that today, the president and his deputy cannot hold an organic meeting. All their meetings must be at our tent where people have been vetted and paid so that they can avoid people seeing one term. You saw what happened during the opening match of the Chan football tournament. The president and the governor of Nairobi had to purchase all the tickets, and the tickets were given to officers from the Kenya prisons, NYS personnel, and supporters of Governor Sakaja and MCAs aligned to him, so that they don't have an organic group in Kasarani, so that they don't sing one term. In the process, they were not able to distribute all the tickets, despite organizers having said that all the tickets have been sold out. Most of the seats were empty because, against the FIFA rules, all the tickets were purchased in bulk so that they give them to their supporters, so that they avoid the situation of people coming to say one term. But I don't know what they'll do, because on the day of the voting, they would have to pay everybody in Kenya. And even if they pay them, they will still have to come and vote for Ruto to be one term. So it's a prerequisite for us to restore Kenya, for us to restore our country, for us to restore our economy, for us to restore the dignity of the person, for us to have our children safe from killings, for us to have Kenyans doing business in a good environment. William Ruto must be one term. That is the movement we are spearheading, and I can tell you it's unstoppable, and it's going on. And probably they were thinking it's Rigathi who is behind it. I've been out of Kenya for the last 5 weeks. The one-term movement is even stronger than it was when I was in Kenya. So it's one term.
Your Excellency, we want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for visiting us here in Midwest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward. Asante sana. Thank you very much.